China just pulled a $2.4 billion plug on US LNG imports out of nowhere. The global energy market is spinning after Beijing made a shocking pivot, ditching American gas and turning to Australia instead. In March 2025, China suddenly announced it would completely halt all LNG shipments from the US. The timing? No coincidence. This bombshell came just 1 month after Washington slapped a 10% tariff on Chinese goods. In 2024, the US was the biggest LNG exporter on the planet, producing over 91 million tons. And it just lost its second largest customer overnight. Right after the announcement, China wasted no time rerouting its LNG shipments straight to Europe, completely sidestepping US tariffs and tightening its grip on a continent desperate to move away from Russian energy. With the US pushed out, Europe instantly became China's next goldmine. Germany, the Netherlands, and Italy jumped at the chance, quickly rewriting their import policies to cash in on the cheaper Asian LNG. The EU didn't sit still either. They fast-tracked massive storage projects, expanded seaports, and threw money into energy transport systems like never before. In the shadow of the Russia-Ukraine crisis, Europe eagerly embraced China's redirected gas, while the US stood on the sidelines, watching billions pour into someone else's pocket. The US just took a major hit, losing market share, key allies, and its leverage in Europe, a region it had counted on heavily after COVID and the global energy crunch. While America scrambles, Australia makes a bold move under the radar. In a quiet yet powerful shift, Australia locks in a $1.5 billion deal with China Resources Gas, one of China's energy giants. Starting in 2027, the 15-year agreement guarantees 600,000 tons of LNG annually. And here's the kicker. Australian gas is 20% cheaper than US LNG and arrives 10 days faster thanks to geography. The Woodside deal isn't just business, it's a geopolitical mic drop. America's longtime ally just became China's go-to energy supplier. China played the long game inking deals with Qatar, Russia, and Central Asian nations. It poured cash into the East Asia gas pipeline from Russia, set to go live in 2027, and doubled down on energy and mineral partnerships with Australia. This isn't just smart strategy. It's China making sure no one holds the energy leash, especially during global trade battles. Before the sudden halt, the US was shipping around 400,000 tons of LNG to China every year, raking in $2.4 billion. But after the suspension, chaos hit fast. US export terminals are now flooded with unsold gas, canceled contracts are piling up, and shipping costs are exploding. While America scrambles, Australia swoops in, snatching the top spot and becoming China's go-to LNG supplier, along with other Asian nations. The US, once dominant, is now staring down the barrel of a major industry shake-up. This isn't just about price anymore. The entire global energy market has shifted into a new era where geopolitical power plays are calling the shots. Canada just made a bold move, teaming up with China while leaving the US out of the oil game. For years, 97% of Canada's massive $176 billion energy exports went straight to the US, but that's changing fast. After the US floated a 10% tariff on Canadian oil and gas, China jumped at the chance. Rongsheng Prochemical, a powerhouse refinery with the capacity to process 800,000 barrels a day, quietly set up shop in Calgary. And then boom, they signed a crude oil deal with Suncor, one of Canada's biggest energy giants. The first shipments to China? Already set for June 2024. And this isn't a one-time play, it's the start of something much bigger. Rongsheng isn't slowing down. They're now in talks with major giants like Shell, BP, Suncor, and ConocoPhillips. But here's the twist. Instead of traditional locked-in contracts, they're going with FOB deals. Meaning they can change delivery destinations mid-shipment. Total power move. For the first time ever, TMX gives Canadian crude direct access to Pacific ports. No need to pass through US territory. That's huge. Now, energy-hungry nations like China, Japan, and South Korea, all equipped with refineries tailored for heavy sour crude, are just a straight shot away. Before this, over 95% of Canada's oil went to the US, leaving Ottawa exposed to every policy shift. But TMX isn't just a pipeline, it's a declaration of independence. When the US tried to tighten its grip with tariff threats, Canada fired back fast, launching a $6.5 billion support package to break free. Right now, Canada pumps out nearly 8.6 billion cubic feet of gas every day, and most of it goes straight to the US, but that's about to change in a big way. With LNG ports popping up from the Pacific to the Arctic, Canada's carving its own route into global gas markets, no middleman needed. The energy game just flipped. Canada's not knocking on America's door anymore, it's kicked open a new one straight into Asia. It's not just selling raw fuel, it's now directing the energy flow. When infrastructure shifts, strategy follows. When new buyers show up, the power map gets redrawn. Keep your eyes wide open, Canada's becoming a serious global force. Jon Stewart and Josh Johnson have taken aim at Trump's chaotic tariff policies, and for good reason. Are these moves really making the US economy stronger, or are they just stirring up confusion and chaos? Trump once boasted, according to him, tariffs were supposed to be an economic sledgehammer, crushing foreign competition and funneling money into America. But the moment tariffs hit Canadian and Mexican imports, the results were underwhelming, the riches never came, and uncertainty took over. The stock market took a nosedive fast. People started feeling the pain. Unemployment spiked, consumer spending tanked, and then came the dreaded word flashing across every news screen: recession. So, are these tariffs really helping in the long run, or just dragging us into deeper uncertainty? Trump suddenly hit pause on the tariffs, and the confusion was instant. Can the government just keep flipping policies without thinking about the long-term damage? How are businesses supposed to plan when the rules keep changing like a game with no scoreboard? This kind of unpredictability is exactly what's shaking the foundation of the US economy, and that's what people are truly afraid of. Every time Trump or his team speaks, it feels like the plan changes the second another country reacts or pushes back. That kind of whiplash makes it nearly impossible for businesses or the public to plan ahead. Investors are left guessing, unsure what tomorrow holds. Consumers? They're stuck wondering what their money will even be worth in the near future. This level of unpredictability isn't just confusing, it's costing the US economy big time. Trump insists tariffs are the key to saving America's economy. So they're back on, we are doing tariffs, damn right, we are. While Americans are watching their wallets shrink, China's charging ahead. In 2024, the MSCI China Index soared 28%, while the Nasdaq dropped 10.8%. And even in the middle of trade tensions, China's foreign direct investment didn't just hold, it skyrocketed by 88.4%. Who's really winning this trade war? So here's the real question: who's actually winning this economic showdown? When Trump returned to office in 2025, many hoped for a second wave of economic growth. In 2024, China pulled off something major, an 88.4% spike in foreign direct investment. And this wasn't just luck. Beijing launched aggressive stimulus plans targeting infrastructure, tech, and real estate. They slashed interest rates, stabilized monetary policy, and global corporations paid attention. While the US was busy flipping tariff switches, China was locking in long-term economic momentum, and the world noticed. AstraZeneca just announced its expanding R&D in China, a move that confirms what many already see: China is now a prime destination for global growth. And it's not just about pharma. China is charging ahead on two powerhouse fronts: artificial intelligence and electric vehicles. The trade war that started in 2018 was supposed to protect American manufacturing. Prices climbed, consumer confidence dropped 8%, and inflation fears exploded. And it didn't stop with China. Tariffs hit Canadian and Mexican goods too, tied in part to the fentanyl crisis. But mixing trade and national security only stirred more confusion, and did nothing to fix America's real problems. Instead of firing back with full force, Beijing played it smart. It took the pressure from US tariffs and turned it into strategy, reducing reliance on American trade. By ramping up domestic consumption and locking in new trade deals across the Asia-Pacific. The result? A flood of investment into high-tech and digital sectors. As the global power scale shifts, both the US and China stand at a breaking point. Is this the start of a permanent economic reshuffle, or just a temporary shake-up? One thing's certain: the next chapter of this financial battle is already underway. By 2023, over 20% of global oil deals skipped the US dollar entirely. Trump fired back, threatening a brutal 150% import tax on BRICS nations. But BRICS isn't just 5 countries anymore. Egypt, the UAE, Ethiopia, and Cuba have joined, and they're rewriting the rules. BRICS has evolved, and it's not just 5 countries anymore. With over 10 member nations, the alliance now commands 36.7% of global GDP, officially surpassing the G7's 30%. This isn't just an economic group anymore, it's turning into a full-blown geopolitical force, shaking the foundation of Western dominance. At the 2024 BRICS summit in Kazan, Russian President Vladimir Putin unveiled something shocking: a prototype BRICS currency. It wasn't just any note. This one's backed by gold, powered by blockchain, and built for international trade without the US dollar. This isn't some flashy fintech experiment, it's a political weapon. A direct challenge to the financial control long held by the United States. Despite Washington's fiery warnings, BRICS isn't backing down. At the summit, members pushed for a game-changing cross-border payment system that skips the dollar entirely. Instead, they're looking to trade using national currencies, gold-backed value standards, and digital money built on blockchain rails. Gold isn't just symbolic, it's a long-term shield, chosen specifically to guard against inflation and the West's shaky monetary policies. And the clearest sign of this shift? The energy market. In 2023 alone, nearly 20% of global oil transactions were done without the US dollar. For the first time ever, the dollar's grip on oil, the heart of global trade, is being pried loose. Then came Cuba. Its entry into BRICS Plus sent shockwaves. After over 60 years of US sanctions, Cuba now gains access to development funds, low-interest loans, and trade deals that bypass the dollar. For Cuba, it's economic relief. For the world, it's a political statement. Countries once boxed out by US power now have a new path. Yes, China and Russia's financial backing is still limited, but Cuba's inclusion is proof that BRICS is reaching into Latin America, once considered America's backyard. With BRICS expanding, gold making a comeback, blockchain linking economies, and the dollar losing ground, one massive question looms. Are we entering a multipolar financial world where the US dollar is no longer the center of gravity? The answer could redefine global power forever.